Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce. My name is Muhammad Daniel. I'm from Group 3. I will be explain about propeller shaft. Propeller shaft. My members of the group: Muhammad Daniel, Ismi, Rahmat Rifais, Zaka Ashadri, Abdul Rafi, and Indra Husnadi. What is a propeller shaft? Shaft is a component for transmitting mechanical power and torque and rotation, usually used to connect other components of a drivetrain that cannot be connected directly because of distance or the need to allow for relative movement between them. As torque carriers, drive shafts are subject to torsion and shear stress equivalent to the difference between the input torque and the load. They must therefore be strong enough to bear the stress, while avoiding too much additional weight as that will in turn increase their inertia to allow for variation in the alignment and distance between the driving and driven components. Drive shaft frequently incorporate one or more universal joints, jaw couplings or rack joints, and sometimes a splint joint or prismatic joint. Types of propeller shaft. Type 2 universal joint. In the Type 2 universal joint propeller shaft, this propeller shaft has two universal joints. Type 3 universal joints. In the Type 3 universal joint propeller shaft, this propeller shaft has three universal joints. Damage to the propeller shaft. Universal joint jammed or broken. Damage that often occurs in the first propeller shaft is a universal joint jam or damage. Universal joint is sometimes referred to by the name of spider joint, hook joint, cross joint, or in the workshop is commonly understood by the term joint couple. Universal joint is the form of a plus sign. At each end there is a bamboo bearing or roller bearing. This bearing is what want to associate the propeller root with the yoke and sleeve joint. The most common damage in the bearing on this universal joint resting the end of lack of lubrication and often submerged in water. Rust that occurs triggers the movement of bearings to be obstructed, jammed until broken. Here are some things that will happen when the universal joint is damaged. There is a loud vibration that is felt up to the body of the vehicle at a certain RPM. Noise appear as the four-wheel vehicle move forward or backward slowly. Usually there are several universal joints that can be given lubricants periodically. Characteristics: on the joint body there is a valve or nipple area to drain grease to get out of universal joint quickly damaged. to grease or grease support periodically. Support periodically. Damage to the propeller shaft. Number 2. Center bearing damage or damage. Damage that often occurs in the propeller shaft is the center bearing damage or damage. Center bearing usually only exists on propeller shaft type 3 joint or more. This center bearing has 4 important functions, namely as a connecting, stabilizing the rotation of the shaft, minimizing the twist load, and dampening the vibration that arises when the shaft rotates. Read. The center function is on the propeller shaft type 3 joint. Center bearing damage usually occurs at the end of the aspect of surface life and the end of universal joint damage that is not immediately repaired. Yes, when the universal joint is damaged, the vibration that occurs will affect the work of the center bearing. Over time, the center bearing round becomes unstable and no longer center. Here are some signs that arise when the center bearing is damaged. There is a loud vibration that is felt up to the body of the vehicle throughout the wheel rotation state. Noise appear as the vehicle moves forward or backward. Direct to the propeller shaft. Number 3. Propeller shaft bent or broken. Damage that occurs in the next propeller shaft is a twist or broken propeller shaft. The cause of a bent or broken propeller shaft usually occurs let hit hard object when passing on rocky and perforated roads. In addition, poor driving or such as carrying excess load and forcing engine acceleration when the four-wheel vehicle is stuck in the wall. Also, often produce this propeller shaft twist and bend. This crooked propeller shaft usually often give rise to loud vibrations that are felt throughout the body when a four-wheel vehicle is traveling. Even not infrequently, this vibration also often give rise to loud noise that can produce worry. Damage to the propeller shaft. Number 4. Sleeve yoke wear or defect. Sleeve yoke wear or defects are also often a frequent damage to the propeller shaft. Sleeve yoke is a friction connected to the transmission shaft output. At the end of the yoke sleeve there is usually an oil seal that warns to ward off leaking transmission oil. When the sleeve yoke wears out or defect, then usually on the back of the transmission will arise transmission oil leak. If it is not, suffers usually only in the form of seepage. But if it is suffer, then the oil can drip out. This transmission oil leak can gradually trigger the transmission oil to run out. The effect will greatly affect the transmission components of four-wheel vehicles and result in a severely damaged transmission. Therefore, when there is a seepage of transmission oil, it is required to quickly repair the leak before the damage spreads of other components. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.